I'm sure it's totally natural, but I just, as I'm looking at the screen, like about to talk, 3 seconds before I start to speak, the number of listeners went down by one. I was like, come on, man, where you going? We're just getting started. What happened? What happened to you? Trying to grow this thing, and then right as I'm about to start talking, we're shrinking this thing. I don't want to shrink the thing, man. Gotta not shrink the thing. It's Writer Radio. It's episode 162. So it's the final game of the regular season of a base. If this was a baseball season, we'd be in. And honestly, like a 2-hour game, 2-hour show, 2-hour game, kind of close now that we've got the pitch clock. So I would like we've done essentially a full baseball season, a full current modern era baseball season of shows on Writer Radio, and we're just getting started because the reality is the thing that we need is to turn this into a business because I am done. I'm attempting to be done anyway. Like, I'm not saying no to some massive offer, but I'm attempting to be done working for people in my life, and this is the job now. The show is the job. So establishing it, making sure that it's working, solving technical issues. We're always going to have that. You know, here and there, there's going to be a little thing that pops up. Oh, no, we couldn't get on the air for the first 7 minutes. We'll survive. But, or oh, no, it sounds like crap, and we're doing a pistachio eating contest from a hotel room in Minneapolis. Like, you know, it's just me. But it's fun. It's fun. But I want this. The show is the thing now. Like, what do you do for a living? I talk to people through a microphone in my basement at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's what I do for a living now. And in order for me to do it for a living, there need to be advertisers. There has to be like an income stream. And that has started thanks to our good friend, Brian Janik with the Financial Guys. Brian is, he's got 20 years of experience in health insurance and employee benefits. And he's an independent insurance broker. So you deal with him for free. This is the best part. You deal with him for free. No cost for his services. Everything is paid for by insurance carriers. So you just go and consult with him to make your life better. He will help companies, individuals under 65, and people eligible for Medicare find health plans that meet their needs and budget. Again, no cost for his services. Brian Janik, he's with the Financial Guys. You can find more information at thefinancialguys.com. And I want you to contact him if you have any need. If you don't have a need, don't contact him. I mean, that would be stupid. Don't be dumb. Don't heckle Brian because you heard him mentioned on Writer Radio. But if the moment arises, and he even said, he's like, I would like my name to get out there on your show, and I don't expect people to call me the first day. He's not selling pizzas, you know, like, oh, I'm hungry, I'll get a pizza from Brian. You don't do that. Although I've had many pizzas with Brian, and it's great. I mean, if you want to do that, go ahead. But that's not what he's looking for out of this relationship. What he's looking for is you to remember his name so that when you think, oh, I could use a conversation with somebody about insurance, you'll think of Brian. So that's the whole plan here. Brian Janik, thefinancialguys.com. That's the place to find him. Okay. We've got, oh no, you people in the chat. One day closer to Krispy Kreme. My family and I are considering doing the Krispy Kreme challenge in real time with you. I don't know how the real time part of it's going to work. All right. The intention was not to talk about the Krispy Kreme challenge to start the show, but I'll do it anyway. So here's what's different about the Krispy Kreme thing as opposed to the pistachio thing. So we did the pistachio challenge, the great Minneapolis pistachio challenge of 2025. Some are calling it the greatest 2 hours in broadcast history. Some are not calling it that. So, you know, some of this, some of that, a little bit of this, a little bit. That one, it was pretty easy to establish a concept because we knew for a fact that we would be in a hotel room in Minneapolis. When there's a night game, we travel for UB the day before. We travel the day before anyway. But a night game in Minneapolis means we're on a plane at, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something on Wednesday. We arrive. There's a time zone thing. It's like 4 o'clock when we get there. And then we've got nothing until a game at 8 o'clock their time, 7 o'clock our time the next day. So it's a night of whatever we want to do, which ended up being go play trivia and hang out at that bar for a little bit, and then go back to the room and watch football. Was it football? No, it wasn't. What did we watch? Yeah, it was probably football. I don't know. Go back to the room. But then we had all day. So you wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's not a game until 8 o'clock at night. There's nothing to do. So we set up the equipment. We did the show from the hotel room. And that is still available. It was episode 1. I don't remember now. It was good, though. 155? 154? 158? 158. I think it's 158. Whatever. You'll find it. It says Minneapolis on it. That one. That was a thing. The challenge on the... So that was me trying to eat 338 pistachios in 5 minutes. I made it to like 129, maybe. It was pathetic, but it was hard. It was harder than I thought. I am still right that the thing that takes more time is opening them. Eating one pistachio takes less time than opening one pistachio. So eating 338 takes less time than opening 338. But 5 minutes was a bad. The timing, it was bad. It was bad. That was dumb. Didn't work. Failed. 0 for 1. However, Krispy Kreme donuts, that was the other challenge that was issued, I don't know, 2 months ago when Scott and I were talking a lot about competitive eating. And I don't want to say firmly believe. I definitely think there's a strong chance that I can put down a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts, warm, in 8 minutes. Because I feel like I could, like, recreationally, I'll do 2 in, let's say, 3 minutes. That's without trying. I'm not competing. They're just that good and small and digestible. When they're especially when they're warm, it's the consistency of it. It's like eating croissants almost. They go away. So I anticipate having stomach problems later in the day, but like for that 8 minutes, I think I can do that. If I can't, I can't. Because, I mean, I want to eat the first 2. The challenge is the other 10. I want 2 Krispy Kreme donuts on my way to the game. So here, the point here is you're talking about real time. The real time thing is I don't think we're going to broadcast in real time. What I think we're going to do is record in the car on the way to Erie and then use that on the show on Monday. So we'll be driving Saturday morning. We'll probably leave Buffalo or Amherst at 8 a.m. No, sorry, 6 a.m. or so. And we'll probably hit Erie, which is where Krispy Kreme is, on Peach Street. We're going to get off the expressway, the thruway, and pick up some donuts. And then we'll get back on the thruway. This whole thing will take place on the thruway. And I don't think we're going to broadcast live from the thruway. Maybe we will. My plan is not to do that, but maybe it should be to do that. Just turn the thing on. It'll be like a bonus episode. Yeah, I'm changing my mind. It'll be a bonus episode. It'll record itself. We'll do it live in the van. I won't promote it. But it'll be there. Like, you got to know. You've got to be a subscriber to the Mixler thing. And then you'll just get notified. Like, they're going live. What's happening? And it'll be the Krispy Kreme challenge live from the thruway at like 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And then it'll be recorded. And then we'll use it on the show on Monday or Tuesday or wherever we see fit. Probably Tuesday. Because Monday, we've done one Monday show since football season started, since NFL football season started. That was yesterday. And there is not room to talk about anything but football. I know it's not going to be Bills-Ravens 41-40 every week. But who am I to talk about anything else the day after something like that happens? So knowing full well that a Monday now will be the first show after both a UB game and the Krispy Kreme challenge and a Bills game, I don't know that we'll get to the donut part of it on Monday. But once we hit Tuesday, Wednesday, like that's probably when it will air. So that's the new plan. I made it up while talking to you live. It will stream live. Why not? But I'm not going to... it's not during a show. Like it's not going to be a whole show. We'll just be on the air for 20 minutes. Like, all right, we just got out of Krispy Kreme. Here we go. We're hitting the throughway. And we'll talk a little. I think that's the plan. It's the plans don't make shows. So that's the plan. That doesn't mean that's the show, but that's what I'm thinking right now. So if you're really excited about Krispy Kreme, as people seem to be on today, September 9th, I think that's what we will do. We'll do a live donut eating stream from the throughway. Maybe we could do video. I don't know. I don't want to do video. It's disgusting. It's gross just thinking about eating a dozen donuts, right? I mean, that's disgusting. And then if you see me and my fat face, that's gross too. Now you're going to combine donuts with my fat face. I'll get fatter. You'll see me get fatter live if we do video. It'll just happen. My face will get bigger. Like I need that. Like I need more head. I got enough head. My head it's enormous. And then the more I eat, the bigger it gets. It's stupid. 50 years of eating and making my head bigger. Now I'm going to do it live for you. I'm a clown. I just dance for you. I probably will do it. I don't know. I don't know yet. I know that by next Monday's show, I will have gone through a Krispy Kreme challenge. And maybe you will have already heard it. Maybe you'll hear it later. This is actually kind of similar to what we went through this past Saturday with the listening to a referee challenge. It wasn't planned, but it was crazy. I don't know that I have gotten into this yet on the show. The referee for the UB game against St. Francis on Saturday, it was his first game. I don't know if it's his first game as a ref or if it's his first game as a ref on TV or his first game as a ref for UB or his first game as a ref in college football. I'm not positive. I just know it was his first. He was new. He was a little green, and oh my God, did it show. We did. I went back yesterday and mapped this all out, so I've got some numbers for you to explain. The announcement that we were hitting the 2-minute timeout, which is the 2-minute warning, but you can't call it a warning in college football because I don't know why. I'm not sure why they've declared that, but you can't call it that. It's a 2-minute timeout. From the moment that the referee announced that it was the 2-minute timeout until the moment that the referee announced that the half was over, I want you to just play a game with me. How long do you think it took? I sent this out in a text message to our UB crew yesterday once I did the math on it. And I want you to guess too. And I'll give you the answer in a moment, but I want you to play along at home or in your car or wherever the hell you are at work. From the time that the referee announced this is the 2-minute warning, 2-minute timeout, we'll be right back. He didn't say it that way, but you know what I mean. Timeout on the field, 2-minute timeout, commercial break, then football. From the time he announced 2-minute timeout to the time he announced that's the end of the first half, how much time do you think elapsed? The thing that reminded me I needed to talk about this is when I yesterday was watching, as I bet many of you were doing, watching as many highlights / conversations about the Bills-Ravens game yesterday. As much as you could take in. I watched the end of that game so many times. It's like watching the 13 seconds game, except we win. So it's like a happier thing. Same deal, though. It's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, back and forth, back and forth. Can't believe that this happened. Forgot that this happened. Here's the one, my takeaway from watching it again last night. Can't believe, it all just happened so fast. There were so many moments. It all made sense at the time. But thinking back to the fact that they were down 15 and they scored their 2 touchdowns, but failed on the conversions, so they still needed more. Like scoring twice, that's what made it reasonable to me. With 5 minutes left, Bills down by 15. Like that's 2 touchdowns, but you need a 2-point conversion. But they tried twice and didn't get it. So they still needed to stop and score. And that's where Matt Prater comes in the field goal thing. But that was 3 scores in the last 5 minutes. Down 15 is one thing. But down 15 and unable to convert 2-point conversions makes you score again. So the Bills had to score 3 times. 3 separate scores to win that game. And that, I didn't forget about it, but kind of got caught up in, I was, my overall point yesterday was I didn't think they were out of it, but I didn't think they were out of it because I figured they could get a 2-point conversion. I'm like, yes, the Bills can score 15 points in 6 minutes. That's totally, they've got the ball, score, stop, score. One of them has to have a conversion. You're tied. But it didn't even go that way. It was score, not a conversion, score, not a conversion, stop them again, drive down the field crazily, run out the clock somehow. Somehow time ends up on the Bills' side and run out the clock and kick the field goal. It was awesome. It was great. So anyway, watching a highlight package of that yesterday, it was an official like NFL Films video of the highlights of that game. And it was the final 4 minutes of the game. And the first comment under the video that I watched was, when the last 4 minutes, when a video of the last 4 minutes is 23 minutes long, you know it's good. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty good. Good comment. It had like 2,000 upvotes or whatever you call it on YouTube. And that made me think of what the hell happened at the end of the UB game. So from the time that the referee announced, not the end of the game, sorry, the end of the first half of the UB game, from the time that the referee announced it was the 2-minute timeout to the time that the first half actually concluded, how long do you think that took? I'll give you a hint. It's longer than that video that I was just telling you about. It was 27 minutes and 50 seconds. It took 27 minutes and 50 seconds from the referee saying it's the 2-minute warning, timeout, but warning, to the time he said, all right, it's halftime. 27 minutes and 50 seconds. It was crazy. It was the main reason that when I got home, I couldn't wait to watch the TV broadcast because I wanted to find out what on earth the people doing the television broadcast, which was Anthony Lima on play-by-play and Devin Gardner on color. And I wanted to see what they did, and they were awesome too. I think we did a very good, me, Paul, Scott, I think we did a very good stall type of broadcast. It was the kind of broadcast like if there was a lightning delay, except there wasn't. It was just the official. The guy, he's doing his first game on some level. First game ever, first game in the MAC, first game on TV, first game with UB. I don't know what it was, but he's definitely new. He was very raw. From the time he announced there were 2 minutes left in the half, he spoke on the microphone for 2 minutes and 59 seconds. It was just him. I want you to hear it. So I'm debating what to do with this because I think it's funny. I think we did a good job, but without the context of like the video, I don't know how much you'll appreciate. Like, why would you want to listen to that? Why would you want to listen to that stall/delay? You wouldn't, right? But I kind of want you to hear it because it was really good. I know the context. I'm trying to give you the context. There was another thing with the ref that his enunciation was bizarre. Just bizarre, as if he was told, look, we can't give you this ref job unless you say every syllable eloquently or something. I don't know what. I'd love to talk to him, but I don't want to make fun of him. He did fine, but it was bad. It was It was so bad. So I've got 3 different cuts of this whole thing. I've got here's what's on my screen in front of me. Ready? I've got unedited Radio Crew plus ref, last 2 minutes of half, 27 minutes and 50 seconds. I've got ref plus Radio Crew, 7 minutes and 49 seconds. And then I've got ref only, 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Ref only is, it's only, I edited it so that any moment that his microphone was on, it played. Ref plus Radio Crew gives you extra Paul, Scott, Brad, along with the ref to give you some context. And then the full 27:50, maybe I'll play that at the end of the show. How about that? When the show is over, instead of playing music, I'm going to play this unedited Radio Crew plus ref last 2 minutes of half thing that takes 28 minutes. I want you to hear that. There are 2 minutes. Imagine you're Jeff from Fat Man's Pizza, and you're standing in our booth. Our booth is crowded anyway. Our booth is like a closet. And now Jeff is in there with his handler, who's our buddy Jay Sotto. They're in there because he's coming on as soon as the half ends. The half will end. We'll take a 2-minute break, and then I'll talk to Jeff, right? That's how it works with the advertising part. Jeff was there in the booth for 45 minutes because he's a couple minutes early and then just sat through a 28-minute version of 2 minutes of football. It was so crazy that I went back to watch the TV broadcast and find out how it went. And then once I watched how that went, I could tell that they thought it was as crazy as we thought it was. And then I have since become friendly with Anthony Lima, who was the play-by-play guy doing the game on TV. I wanted to pull their audio too, and it just didn't quite work out. So I've got all of ours, but I just want to talk to him about that. Plus, he's morning show host in Cleveland. Shout out to Andy Roth, my former program director at GR, who also worked in Cleveland. And when I found out that Anthony was a Cleveland guy, I was like, I can get him through Andy. So I've been texting with Andy and this guy and whatever. Anthony Lima is going to come on the show about 11:30, about an hour from now. So we'll save I'm going to play the full. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the full thing. I want you to appreciate it. I want you to listen to it and appreciate what it's like when you're just in a holding pattern on a football broadcast, and it's all because of one guy. But I do want you to hear the shorter version. This is what it sounded like. This is from the 2-minute warning. 2-minute timeout through the end of the half. This is the ref talking every time he talked, plus us talking. I could just play the ref. That's 3 minutes. It's boring. I played it for my wife yesterday. And about halfway through, she's like, I don't know. I don't understand what's funny about this yet. And then by the end, she got it. But I think it works better if you hear me and Scott and Paul all together with the ref. So we're going to do that right now. This will count as a break. I'm going to do this instead of music. It's 8 minutes long. I want you to hear it. I want you to understand what the hell I'm talking about here. Because, oh my God, did we experience something at that game. I didn't have time to talk about it yesterday because the Bills beat the Ravens 41-40 the night before, and I'm not going to dwell on how stupid Saturday afternoon was. But I want you to hear this, and I hope it works. 8 minutes of this. I'll be right back. It's Writer Radio. It's episode 162. This is the last 2 minutes of the first half of UB against St. Francis. UB won 45-6, which was awesome. I'll get to your comments in the chat in just a minute, but I want you to hear this.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
It was Kobe Stewart that hit the quarterback Whitfield, and it looks like, I think, an incomplete pass. Have we gotten a ruling yet?
No. They just sent it right to the 2-minute timeout.
What about intentional grounding? Might that be in the conversation here?
It should be. We've got a timeout on the field. We'll sort all of this out and see what happens when we return. It's the 2-minute timeout here at UB Stadium with the Bulls up 24-0. All right, 1:56 to go first half, 24-0 Bulls. We still are not aware of the resolution of that last play that we told you about.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the offense. The play is under review.
They just had the whole commercial break to review this and get this taken care of, and then they wait till we come back from break.
Right.
And then they say, by the way, we are going to stop the game to review this. Now, luckily, this should be a quick one. But still, what were you doing?
The entire officiating crew stood in a huddle for a good minute and a half during the commercial break, only to determine, yeah, maybe we should look at this over there. Let's wait till we get back from the commercial break, and then I'll head from the 50-yard line to the 23-yard line where the monitor is. And then I'll stand looking at that for, I don't know, 5 minutes. This is stupid.
So Marcel Kerr, our referee, is still at the monitor on the 20-yard line, as Brad mentioned. Let's go, Marcel Kerr. I know this is your first. It might be your first game as a ref. Here we go. Finally.
Said, all right. Paul's getting angry. I got to say something here.
Tell us, please.
After review, the ruling on the field is reversed to an incomplete pass. Because there was no eligible receiver in the area of the pass, we have intentional grounding, offense, number 6. Loss of down at the spot of the foul will be second down at the 44-yard line. The game clock will start on the snap.
So that's actually the worst possible outcome for St. Francis.
Yeah.
The other outcome was much better for them.
Yes.
Timeout, Buffalo. Their first charge timeout of the first half. This will be a 13-second timeout. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1 minute 48 seconds. 148.
I'm going to be on a microphone for the first time. I'm going to enunciate. I'm going to speak every syllable as clearly as possible. What is going on with this guy?
Snap to the QB. Whitfield, quick throw up the middle of the field, caught, but well shy of a first down. Peyton Nelson, the wide receiver, freshman from Maryland, makes the catch as the Bulls drop deeper in the zone coverage.
Buffalo.
Ball goes
that
to the
second charge timeout of the first half. This will be a 13-second timeout.
Ball goes to the
Game
Buffalo.
Operator, please reset the game clock to 1 minute 44 seconds. 144.
And the ball is at the 43-yard line right now.
Thank you.
Is he AI?
It might be. It might be.
It feels like he's AI.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 136. 136. Thank you. Timeout, Buffalo. Their third and final charge timeout of the first half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Whitfield back in the pocket. Blitz is coming. He has to throw it away. He throws it to no one. That has the potential to be a grounding call as well, too.
There's no one there.
Did Pete Lembo say he wants to decline this?
No. No, I think he's saying...
I don't think you can. Here we go.
Intentional grounding, offense, number 6. Loss of down at the spot of the foul. Because that foul carries a 10-second runoff being under the last 2 minutes, the offense has elected to take their last timeout to avoid the runoff. The previous play ended with 5 seconds remaining on the game clock. So game clock operator, please put 5 seconds on the game clock. Timeout, St. Francis, their third and final charge timeout, a 30-second timeout.
That was his best one until he got the operator.
That was an excellent explanation, exactly.
Right, but all I was waiting for
was
operator and 13.
All right, so the ball sits at the 16-yard line, which was the spot of the grounding, and with 5 seconds to go on the half, it's going to be fourth down. So what's St. They're just going to throw it into the end zone? Like, what are they going to?
They're going to field goal. They got their kicker out
there.
there.
Well, they can kick the field goal. Sure. Here we go.
The officials are talking
again.
Here
we go.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Previous play is under review.
What?
I mean, he threw the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
Are they saying that
they're going to watch it and see if somebody caught it? Like, what are we?
Is it timing? Are we trying to check timing for when the ball went out of bounds? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, these officials are.
What time is it?
They are
Thursday?
really getting their. They are really getting their money's worth.
All right, here we go. Marcel's got all the info for us.
After review, the incomplete pass on the previous play occurred with 20 seconds on the game clock. Please reset the game clock to 20 seconds.
Operator.
Because of the timeout St. Francis took to avoid the runoff, we would snap the ball. The game clock will start on the snap.
They are still talking about this play.
Yes, they are. Now they're talking about it with Chris Valerial, who's out to the numbers on the far side of the field.
Hey, shout out to the refs for being only 15 seconds off.
Yeah.
By the way.
By 5, I meant 20. 20. Operator.
Like I feel bad for the players.
Yeah,
I feel bad for us.
Because
my
of
God.
the new clock adjustment, St. Francis has elected to allow the 10-second runoff. Game clock operator, please subtract 10 seconds from the game clock, set it at 10 seconds, and the game clock will start on my ready for play whistle.
So we went from 0 to 5 to 20 to 10.
Yep.
They've made 4 decisions.
Hey, it's actually a good call by Chris Valerio because
you
you're
don't want
like,
any
I don't
time
want to
for
leave
us.
them any time to do anything. All right, it's a 39-yard field goal attempt for Mac Plummer to get St. Francis on the scoreboard and get them their first points of the season. It's 24-0 Bulls. An actual football play. Here it comes. No.
Timeout.
No.
Oh, my God. I don't believe it.
Timeout.
Timeout, St. Francis.
Their third and final charge timeout.
Someone start a
of the
slow
first
clap.
half. This will be
This
a
is-
13-second
I didn't want to do this to
timeout.
Chris Valerio. I like Chris Valerio. I'm going to look up the Bills record while he was on their team because he called
don't do
that timeout.
that. Don't do that.
No, I'm doing that.
So this should be the last play of the half. Field goal attempt of 39 yards. And it's a bobbled snap, and the holder's in trouble, and he tried to throw it, and the ball is loose, and the Bulls pick it up, and I think it's Kobe Stewart who winds up getting tackled at the 40-yard line. The time has run out on the first half. After all of that, how did we not see exactly that coming?
That is
The
the end
holder,
of the second
Aiden
quarter.
Cerulli, bobbled the snap and then tried to go full Garo Yepremian on the play, and they're lucky it didn't get popped up in the air, intercepted, and returned for a touchdown.
We're lucky the clock says 0.
Yeah.
All right. I hope you got that. I hope you appreciated that. I spent most of that laughing, some of it crying, how much I'm laughing at this thing. Everything that happened there, that was 8 minutes of audio. That was 8 minutes of audio. All of it from the 2-minute timeout until the end of the half. That all happened. All of that happened in 2 minutes of football. You know the kind of joke where, honey, I need you in here. I'll be right back. I'm just watching the last minute of the NBA game. Like, you know how that goes? The last minute takes 14 minutes. This was that, but it shouldn't have been that. Nothing happened. Nothing happened on the field. But the official just took over between delays and replays, and oh my God. It was unbelievable. So that was the edited version. That was the 7-minute and 50-second version, I think. Hold on, I gotta see. Where's the where do I have that saved? I don't even know. Somewhere. Oh, did I get rid of it already? I didn't save. It's gone. All right, so that was like the 8-minute version of 28 minutes that actually took place from the time the guy was like, in 2 minutes, it'll be halftime. It took 28 minutes, and that's what it sounded like. That was the debut of like the big scoreboard at UB Stadium, so I'm sure they had very entertaining things on the screen. But, oh, my God, was that atrocious. And, you know, leading up to that point, we were just laughing at how the guy pronounces operator and 30. He clearly had it in his head, I'm going to have the best diction ever. I will execute every syllable of every word that I speak into this microphone. He was like that, and that was funny and like goofy and quirky, and hey, it's Mac. Like, that's fun. We're in the Mac. We get this. We're playing an FCS team. It's about to be a D3 team. It's fun. But then it just got so stupid, and he was wasting all of our time. It was like to the point where at the end of the game, we had, I've got 3 kids. I've got a wife. It's a Saturday. We've got things, a lot of baseball, people running around. And it was, can you pick up Drew by 8 o'clock? This is, the end of the game. I was like, I can pick up Drew. If I hustle, I can get there right at 8 o'clock. She's like, never mind. I'll just do it. Okay, cool. It's all because of our boy, Marcel, the ref, who spent 27 and a half minutes or 28 minutes on the final 2 minutes of the half. I know this is not relevant to your life. It's just an entertaining, crazy, weird thing that happened to me that led to me reaching out and getting in touch with Anthony Lima, who called the game on TV. He's a Browns guy too. We'll do that at 11:30. New guest. I don't often have people I don't really know on the show. It's usually just me and my friends. But that's not a good way to grow, right? Just doing a show with my friends. So I'm starting to kind of reach out. I'm inspired by Brian Janik from the Financial Guys being the first sponsor of Writer Radio, and knowing that, okay, we've got a sponsor. We'll get more sponsors. We'll just keep doing it. The show's going to grow. I'm excited. I'm watching each episode. Like, we're getting more people. I'm reading, like, how do you promote your radio show? How do you promote your online this and that? Like, I'm going to get a TikTok account. I got stuff going on. I just paid for this AI video service. Like, we're going to do this. We're doing it. And we're going to have to grow it by having, I can't just talk to Scott Wilson every day. I'd love to. He's awesome. He's the best. He's my favorite. But it can't just be me and Scott, and then me and Paul, then me and John. That's just UB, you know? And Bob, he's on UB too. Like, all of my people they're my UB friends. But I've been reaching out to other people. I think what I'm going to do on the show is get a correspondent for each division. So division reps, I don't know that we need an AFC East one, so maybe it's 7. Maybe it's 8. Maybe I'll pick an AFC East correspondent. I don't know who it would be. I'd want it to be somebody from somewhere else. Ooh, Michael Bryan. Michael Bryan's a comic and a Patriots fan and my friend. And I don't really need an AFC East guy, so I think we'll go comic for that one. So, all right, we're going to get, I haven't even talked to him about this. He'll be my guy. So I'm thinking 8 reps. We'll make Mike the AFC East guy. I got my guy Chico from Cleveland that I used to do his show. Like during COVID, I was doing trivia games on his show in Cleveland. I'll get him. I got Matt Collar for the NFC North. Chico for AFC North. Mike O'Brien for AFC East. So I just need a few more. And so that'll give me 8 people. We can do 4 per week, all jammed into like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because Monday's pretty packed and Friday's pretty packed. But we'll have a division rep on every day, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday during the football season. I got to build this quickly, but that's kind of the plan. But I'm bringing people in. So it's been fun where it's just me talking to you and no one gets paid. That's been fun. But the point of this was to build it into a show. And thanks to Brian Janik from the Financial Guys, our independent insurance consultant who works for free, kind of, to you. You pay him nothing. You just talk to him. It's great. He's our first sponsor. We've got others that are presumably lining up. I gotta when I turn off the mic, I'll go check the front door, see who's standing outside waiting to get involved in Writer Radio. But we're growing it, and that's fun. And I think, it's football season. We're obviously going to dwell on the Bills a little bit. We're going to dwell on the UB Bulls a lot because of what I do and Scott and all my friends and all that stuff. So that'll be a thing. But we should look at the rest of the NFL, and I think a division correspondent, senior NFC North correspondent, Matthew Collar. Like that's cool. Matt said he's in. Chico said he's in. So I got the 2 Norths covered. I'm sure O'Brien will be in on the East. So that's 3. I need 5 more. I don't know a lot of people on the West Coast. I'll find one. All right. Comments in the chat. My family and I are considering doing the Krispy Kreme challenge in real time with you. We talked about that. It should be 12 minutes for the donut challenge. I think it probably should. J-Man. Scott Wilson, if you're listening, do you approve 12 minutes for the donut challenge? That seems reasonable. And don't give me like, oh no, that's too easy. I still have to eat 12 friggin' donuts. I've never eaten 12 donuts in a day in my life. Now I'm going to do it in 12 minutes. Like, you're going to tell me, no, 8 minutes is too few and 12 is too many. Or whatever. I screwed that up when I said too few. You're going to tell me that 12 minutes is too much when I've never done that in a day in my life? and now I'm going to do it competitively. I think J-Man is right. 12 Krispy Kremes, 12 minutes. That's reasonable. Here's the best part about that. 12 in 12. I think the assumption is, oh, he can do that. Dude, that sounds terrible. Like, think about when I'm thinking about my kids. I got 3 boys, one of whom is a massive dude. He's 12 years old and he's, 6'1" and 200 pounds. And he'll say, like, I had 9 Hostess pies or something. Like, like what? How was the party, Zach? No, it was pretty good. I had 44 chocolate chip cookies. Like, he'll say stuff like that. And that's gross and crazy. But if he was like, I ate a dozen donuts today, I'd be like, that's gross. And then if he says, I did it in 12 minutes, I'd be like, that's amazing. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, what's the number that flips gross to amazing? Because that's the number we're looking for. I think 12 is right. J-Man's right. All right. Moving on. Cool. Oh, wait. The streets are saying you shouldn't be rewarded with Krispy Kreme after Pistachio Gate. Some feel maybe a ghost pepper challenge should come next. I'm not doing a Look, Mike. Here's the deal, Mike. I'm not a competitive eater. We just had a lengthy conversation about competitive eating things, and a couple of them stood out to me as not super impressive. One of them was the pistachio thing. And yes, I failed miserably, but I still stand by my statement that the more impressive thing about eating 338 pistachios in 5 minutes, 8 minutes, I think it was 8 minutes, in 8 minutes, is that you were able to crack and eat all of them. The cracking takes longer. That's the genesis of all of this. Suddenly I'm roped into these contests I didn't want to be a part of. Just because I said, well, that one, here's the hole I see in that thing. The cracking is more impressive. We're talking about competitive eating. That's competitive cracking. So that happened. I know how easily hot dogs can go down, depending on their, again, I'm back to viscosity, but depending on their thickness, like what are we talking? Are we talking about a Nathan's Frank? Those are easy. A Ballpark Frank? Those are easy. Salen's a little tougher. Zweigel's, same thing. Like, Wardinsky, like, you don't want that for speed. And I was really just breaking down, like, what made sense and what didn't make sense and what seemed difficult and didn't. And suddenly I wound up, I got to eat a dozen donuts in a van now. That wasn't the intention. I'm just, okay. The point is, I'm not saying I can take on all challenges. I can take on, I listened to 30 options. It was like, that one seems maybe reasonable. And so I'm trying them. I'm not here saying I'm going to dominate. I'm just going to try. So don't try to put ghost peppers in my face, Mike. I don't want ghost peppers. I'm not doing any heat challenge. No. That's pain. I'm just saying a Krispy Kreme donut, like, left to my own devices. No one's looking. There's a Krispy Kreme donut. I think it's gone in 11 seconds. Just by myself. Part of it is, and look, if you're a fat guy, you know this. We know that we look gross when we're eating, right? So you just want to get it over with or turn your head or do what, like, I know you, no one wants to watch me eat a donut. I want a donut. I want a donut, but I don't want you to watch me eat a donut. Ugh, it's gross. My face is gross. Jamming that into my face is gross. Jamming 12 friggin' Krispy Kreme donuts in my face is super gross. I'm just saying I think I can do it. So we're going to try it. There won't be video. There might be a live stream of the audio, and then we'll record it, and we'll save it for... I'm not positive. What am I doing with this show? You guys are the Gary, Keith, and Ron of college football. Great stuff. I want to figure out what that means. I feel like I should know what that means. Gary, Keith, and Ron. Gary, Keith, and Ron. Largemouth Bass says in the chat, you guys are the Gary, Keith, and Ron of college football. Great stuff. I appreciate the great stuff part. I don't get the reference, and I apologize. Ben says second on 12 minutes. 1 donut per minute. We want this to succeed. There's no reason to run your first marathon and insist that you have to do it in 8-minute miles. It's hard enough. Take the win. Give us the win. Make it 12 minutes and get her done. Jay Miller, 12 donuts is a lot. I'm a big guy. I think maybe I've eaten 5 donuts in like a 2-hour window. Yes. Agree. Jay Miller, yes. That's where I am. That's happened. And I feel disgusting. But I also think donuts versus, like, when I think of donuts in Western New York, I do not think of Krispy Kreme donuts. I think of Paula's donuts. Paula's donuts weigh 30 pounds apiece. That's an estimate. I've never weighed them. But, like, you walk out of Paula's with a dozen, you need, like, a hand truck to get it into the van. There's some heft to that. They are delicious, and an hour later you feel disgusted with yourself. Krispy Kreme, I mean, it's gross in that it's like slippery, greasy, slimy icing stuff. But also, I might want to wear a glove. You take a Krispy Kreme, you could ball that into Timbit-sized action immediately. Squish, chew, 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 done. I think. I don't know. I just know that anytime I've had Krispy Kreme and they're warm, they go away quickly. I've never done it competitively. I don't want to dwell on this. I didn't mean for the whole first hour of the show to be about that. Oh, Gary, Keith, and Ron. It's Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling. It's the Mets people. I got you. I don't know who Gary. It's not Gary Thorne. I don't know who Gary is. Is it Gary Thorne? It's probably not Gary Thorne. They are known for their fun banter, says Mike. I get it. Who's Gary, though? Somebody just tell me who Gary is. Keith is Hernandez. Max. Ron Darling. It's my favorite team of all time, the 86 Mets. So I know those guys. Gary ain't Gary Carter because he's dead. A lot of go Mets going on in here, but I don't know who Gary is. I'm going to play a song. I got to take a break. I've been talking for a long time. 11:30. Anthony Lima is going to join me to talk about the chaos that was the the last 2 minutes of the first half of the UB St. Francis game. And at the end of the show, stick around. I will play the full. You want to hear it. I swear to God. Like, in the moment, we didn't understand what was going on. We didn't know we were doing something that should win an award, but it should. 27 minutes of 2 minutes of college football where nothing happens. Brought to you by Paul Peck, Scott Wilson, Brad Ryder, and Brian Janik from the Financial Guys. Is Krispy Kreme going to be the next sponsor? It would make sense if they had one here. They don't. I'm not looking Krispy Kreme. I do have plans. I do have conversations lined up. I have a question before I go to break. Has anyone else bought into this? Might only apply to Android phone people. I'm an Android phone person, so if you're iPhone, maybe ignore me. At some point in the last couple months, I went somewhere and then had a couple minutes to kill, looked at my phone and saw, hey, were you just at this place? Would you like to review it? Would you like to, no, not review it. Would you like to answer some questions about, who knows, Green Acres, which is there's a place on Broadway in Depew that's like halfway between my house and where we played Little League. And it's, there's an ice cream place, there's a mini golf place, and there's a driving range. And I've been to all three. And I think that's where it started. At some point, like, we went to baseball, and on the way back, like, can we go to the driving range? Yeah, sure. We went to the driving range, or we went for ice cream, or whatever it was. And then, like, later that day, I'm sitting around doing nothing, and on my phone, it's like, hey, you want to talk about Green Acres? I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll talk to you. What do you got? It's like, can you play golf here? I'm like, sort of. Can you eat ice cream? Yes. Is there a men's room? Is it wheelchair accessible? Like, I'm just answering these questions. Next thing you know, they're like, great, you're now a certified Google reviewer. All right, that's cool. But now, everywhere I go, it wants me to review it. And, like, I feel qualified to review Mighty Taco near my house. And I feel qualified to review Southline. That was one of them. The one day is like, looks like you were at Southline Little League. Got anything to say about it? I was like, yeah, I do. I'm very, very into Southline. I would love to say nice things about Southline online. So I gave Southline a 5-star review because I helped to run it. But then it got to the point where one day I was like, it wanted to review the thing I went to yesterday, and then it was just reviewing everything I've been to in the last week and a half. Like, do they have handicapped bathrooms? Like, I don't know. How are the hot dogs? They just keep asking these questions. I'm going to say right now, as a 50-year-old man who lives in Amherst, New York, outside of Buffalo, has lived in Buffalo, New York for the entirety of my life, really. I went away to school, but an hour from here, and I lived in Montauk for 3 months. Other than that, yeah, Buffalo, my whole life. This is where I live. I don't think I'm qualified to review the Mall of America. I went to the Mall of America. How was it? I don't know. Tall, far, $50 Uber ride from our hotel twice. There and back, we spent $100-something bucks to get to and from the Mall of America. Was it worth it? No, not at all. Did it make sense to do anyway? Yes, it did. But my phone wants me to review the Mall of America, and I do not believe that I'm qualified. So I refuse to do that. Mall of America was walking around, finding a burger place that we went to 8 years ago, eating there, running into a Long John Silver's, buying hush puppies, nobody else eating them, looking at people on roller coasters inside a mall, and then taking a long ride back. You don't want my review. Everyone's opinion doesn't need to be out there. And we certainly don't need to ask people for opinions they're not offering. So knock it off, Google, asking me to review the Mall of America. Gary Cohen, that's the right name, play-by-play guy for the Mets. It's fascinating to hear Brad still have absolutely no respect for the gastric eating arts despite the Minneapolis debacle. I have respect for it. I'm trying to explain. Listen, Harry, I'm trying to explain to people that I am not. I'm not claiming to be good at this. I'm just observing. When I talked to Scott Wilson, I made some observations about some of the feats. Some seemed impossible, and some seemed possible. And I mentioned the possible ones, and then he just nailed me to a wall on the statements I made and forced me into a pistachio thing. I'm exaggerating there. He didn't force me into it, but he, coerced me into the pistachio thing and the donut thing. The donut, I fear the donut thing very little. I already can tell, here's the problem with the donut thing. I'm going to eat 12, maybe it's only 8.5, I don't know. But I'm going to eat a bunch of Krispy Kreme donuts, the glazed, delicious donuts, on the way to Kent State. I'm going to have a massive stomach ache. I'm going to feel like crap later in the day. But I'm doing this for you, the listener, and for Scott, and sort of for myself. But I don't know. I say a lot of things. I talk a lot. Just on Writer Radio alone. This is episode 162. That's 2 hours per, so that's I thought I could do 162 times 2 super easily in my head. And I'm going to use this pen's not working. Come on. All right. 162 times 2 is 324. Okay. That's 324 hours of me talking. If you ask me to, like, defend my position on just any random thing from 324 hours of speaking into a microphone to no one, yeah, I might have some trouble. The gig here is to talk. I'm saying stuff. I'm saying stuff I believe, but I also recognize that my beliefs are not always, fact. So we're just going to try it. This is what happened. That's what happened. We had a conversation about eating things, and now I got to eat donuts in a van, and we'll make it a part of the show. I have to stop talking for a minute. I need some water or something. It's 11 o'clock. We didn't take a break. Oh, no, I played the audio from the football game. I played this song before the show yesterday. I'm going to play it during the show today. It's called Tilt-A-Whirl, and it's awesome. I like this jazzy bed. It's called Jazzy Bed on my screen. I've got new songs. This one. Then I got Spooky Bed. This is like if we do a Ghost Hunters episode or something. I got Club Bed. Nice. And I got Cowbell Bed, which is just... That's not anything. All right, we don't need this. Shut that off. So I got that. I got this thing that I use all the time.
5, 4,
This is all in an effort to make money.
2, 1.
Because I want music to play on the show because it makes it sound better, but you can't use real music, so you have to use your own music. So I've created some music. This one, I like this one. I never cranked this thing, but this is good. It keeps going. There's a thing. This one is 5 minutes long. There are all these transitional parts. There's a part where it starts. The bees are buzzing early, and then there's also a thing where I forget. There's a breakdown. Where you start hearing people talking, kind of. I don't know. This is a decent song. If you heard this. This could have been on the soundtrack to the movie Go. Doug Liman's first movie after Swingers. It had a whole vibe that it sounded like this. This sounds like Go to me. All right. So I got that one, and I got this one it's boring, but it works. Not bad, right? For me. So I got five different Brad Ryder musical compositions. You can't use them. I can. Just looking at all the buttons I have that I can push, right? I can play. We haven't done breaking news in a while. That's a fun sound effect. And I've got this thing.
This episode is brought to you by.
Ooh, I can use this one. Hold on.
This episode is brought to you by
Brian Janik at thefinancialguys.com, insurance consultant. You should talk to him. Because he's awesome. 2, he's the first person to be like, I would like to be a sponsor of your radio show. I'm like, yeah, cool. And I know I say radio as if I'm on the radio. It's the same thing, dude. It's the same thing. It's just a show. Radio is a word I've used for a long time. And also alliteration. Writer and radio. A couple R's. I got that. I got this.
This is Writer Radio.
Big voice guy. Stole that from the previous job. I've got that. All right, I've got all the commercials. What else do I have? This one. Can't play that. I'm going to delete this right now. The Rocky theme I had as a part of the John Fuller experience. He's our Philly correspondent, and so I like playing the Rocky thing, but I can't because it's illegal and will get me flagged on Spotify. It'll get me flagged on YouTube. Can't do that. Trying to build a thing here, right? Okay, it's Writer Radio. What is the next? Oh, okay, here we go. NFL suspends Bills fan who hit DeAndre Hopkins and Lamar Jackson. The Bills fan who struck Lamar Jackson and DeAndre Hopkins on the helmet has been banned indefinitely from NFL stadiums, not just from Orchard Park. All right. I did discuss this yesterday. I'm going to read the story and then we'll get into my thoughts on it real quick. If you mess with an NFL player, don't be surprised when they hit back. As the Ravens kept scoring at high mark, one Bills fan appeared to take issue with it. After a huge touchdown in the third quarter, a group of Ravens players walked along the outer wall of the stadium and passed several Bills fans, including one who struck receiver DeAndre Hopkins and quarterback Lamar Jackson on the helmet. The blow to Jackson's head was strong enough that his head visibly moved back. Then Jackson immediately dished it back to the fan and shoved him into the stands. As a result of the altercation, that fan has been, quote, indefinitely banned from the Bills Stadium and other NFL stadiums, according to Adam Schefter of ESPN. There's a tweet here. The fan who shoved Hopkins, then got shoved by Jackson, has been banned per a team official. The fan had been ejected after the shove Sunday night. All right. I saw this guy on the news, I think. I saw him somewhere. And I couldn't tell for sure if he was kidding, if he was like just doing a bit. But he did this very contrived, very apologetic for everything that I've done. He did like that. I think we should just let this one go. I think there should be advice given to fans, just kind of repeat it. We all know this, but just, throw it out there. Don't touch the players. You get to go to the game. Don't touch the players. That said, if your team is down and you're in the front row, you paid whatever you paid to get a front row ticket for Bills-Ravens opening game, Sunday Night Football, and your team's getting killed, I would say maybe the Ravens shouldn't go stand next to the people who bought the tickets who maybe have been drinking. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But they're allowed to do that. They're allowed to have a party that day. Don't put your head near the hands of the guy in the front row. Why on earth did DeAndre Hopkins need to take that route to get back to the bench? No one said go around the cheerleaders and the band and the whatever. I don't know what was out there, but there was stuff on the field, and you could just go to the bench by cutting through the field that you're allowed access to because you're wearing the uniform and the helmet and stuff. Plus, you just scored. So you can just go the regular way, or you can taunt the people who paid to see the game by walking right next to them. I'm not an attorney. If I was an attorney, this sounds like a pro bono thing to me. I would like to volunteer my time and services to fix the problem with the guy who has now been banned from all NFL stadiums for touching DeAndre Hopkins. He didn't punch him. He didn't shoot him. He didn't stab him. This isn't a Monica Seles situation. He touched the head of the guy that ran past him where you can touch his head. Don't run. This isn't even the tunnel where they go in and out. Players aren't supposed to be there. Now, again, I'm not faulting Hopkins. I'm not faulting Jackson. But I'm also not faulting the guy that was in the stands. Like, none of this should have happened because DeAndre Hopkins shouldn't have been there and Lamar Jackson shouldn't have been there. I'm not mad at them for it. I don't think they need to be suspended, fined, anything. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Jackson gets a fine. Just don't go over there. And then none of this happens. This guy bought a ticket, drank 17 beers, sat in the front row, was angry that his team was getting beaten. Maybe he was really mad that DeAndre Hopkins caught it with a cheating glove. Clearly, that's not the way a football is supposed to go into a person's hand, right? That's not how it's supposed to be caught. Like, we can pretend that that was an awesome catch by Hopkins, or we can recognize that they banned Stickum in 1982 or something, and then we just are wearing gloves that catch balls. It wasn't his hand that caught the ball. It was a glove that caught a ball. Let's stop pretending one-handed catches are every receiver is suddenly more amazing than every other receiver that's ever played, or are they using technology to, game the system? Get lost on that catch. Just throw my hand up. It hits me in the palm, and the ball sticks to it. That's stupid. So anyway, garbage touchdown by a guy I think is good, but maybe he's just a product of technology. Clearly he's a great athlete, but that's not a real catch. And it goes for a touchdown, that's fine. And then they decide that the route to the bench, the best route to the bench, is to go along the wall where Bills fans are. That's taunting. You're taunting. Maybe a flag for that. But I don't need suspensions. We have to recognize the situation here. And it's that the guy reacted to jerk just caught a touchdown pass wearing a cheating glove to continue to beat up on my team. We're not going to win tonight. We're going to be 0-1. This sucks. And then there's the guy right in front of me. And he didn't really do anything much. It was just kind of, he hit DeAndre Hopkins in the head in the same way that I kicked Scott Norwood's dog the day that he missed the field goal in Super Bowl 25. And that is to say, he did it so he could say he did it. He didn't actually do it to injure anything. I pressed my foot against the dog. I didn't kick a dog. I pressed my foot against the dog so that I could say I kicked the dog. And I did, in fact, kick Scott Norwood's dog on the day that he missed the field goal. I did. The dog was staying with friends of Norwood's family. They happened to be friends of mine. I was at their house after the game. I kicked the dog. I did. But I didn't try. It's not the dog's fault. So I touched him with my foot so I could tell the story that I did that. This guy touched DeAndre Hopkins in the head so he could tell the story that after DeAndre Hopkins wore a cheating glove, caught a ball that shouldn't be caught, scored a touchdown to create an insurmountable lead that turns out to be surmountable. And then he ran right past my hand, so I smacked him in the head. He's wearing a helmet. That was by a mile the least impactful collision on DeAndre Hopkins of the day. He's got a helmet on because he's going to be dealing with safety. He's trying to take his face off. This guy just touched his head. My overall point is, A, don't touch players, but B, players don't go where you can be touched. If I'm an attorney, I'm taking on the pro bono case of putting this guy back into NFL stadiums. You have to put him in the second row. Like, that's extreme justice, man. If you just put him in the second row, he can't reach anybody. Go crazy. Go third row. That guy didn't do anything. That's stupid. Brad Scott and Paul should do a live ghost hunt show. That will make some money. I don't want to do a live ghost hunt show. But if I did, I know what song I would use. I would use Spooky Bed. Created by me. Spooky Bed. If me, Paul, and Scott did a ghost hunt show, this would be the theme. Paul Peck searches for ghosts at the disco or something. I don't know what that is. I think the guy you saw apologizing about the Jackson thing wasn't actually the kid. I think it was a joke done by an influencer or something. Yeah, I agree. It seemed very, very fake. So I saw that. Yeah, it's a little harsh. Come on, NFL. Would he be banned if he threw a green dildo at Lamar? No. Oh, yes. I think yes. I think the dildo thrower guys, those brothers from NT, I think they got banned from, I don't know, our stadium, all the stadiums. I want to read the story. I didn't get to the story yet. All right. As the Ravens kept scoring, Bills fan, the blow to Jackson's head was strong enough, his head visibly moved back. Jackson immediately dished it back to the fan, shoved him into the stands. As a result of the altercation, that fan has been indefinitely banned from the Bills Stadium, and other NFL stadiums, according to Adam Schefter. The altercation, took place moments after Hopkins managed to pull in a stunning one-handed touchdown catch, which gave Baltimore a 34-19 lead at the time. Jackson said he saw the fan strike Hopkins before he received a blow from the fan. Jackson said after the game, I just forgot where I was for a little bit. You got to think in those situations. You got security out there. Let security handle it. I just let my emotion get the best of me. Hopefully it won't happen again. I learned from that. I have no problem with Lamar doing that. Who's my teammate is Scott Wilson. If I'm walking through the crowd in Mount Pleasant, we're just trying to get into the game at Central Michigan, and somebody whacks Scott in the head, I'm like, I don't like that guy. And then 2 seconds later or 1 second later, that guy touches my head, I'm shoving that guy. The same as Lamar Jackson did. I got my boys back. No big deal. Doesn't matter. But the difference would be that Scott and I would be walking where we're supposed to walk. They're on a taunting trail. Like that is what you're doing. You are talking trash. What recourse does a Bills fan have sitting in the front row when you just cheated using a sticky glove to catch a pass one-handed that you would never catch in real life? And then you walk right in his face. Like, ha, your team's going to lose today. He deserved to be slapped in the head. Not hard, not maliciously, but like you're both playing the same game. You're like, ha, and he's like, ha. Like, that's what you did. And then Lamar is right behind him, like, you just hit my boy, so and then you hit me, and then I shove you. Like, nothing to Lamar. Fine. It's fine what they did. All of it is fine. But can we please recognize the circumstance that this was, they're on a road they don't need to be on. You're walking into traffic, and then you're mad about the traffic. You went there on purpose. You went there to taunt. And then what's he supposed to say? You stink. Like, what else? So he smacked your helmet. You have a helmet on. In case anyone hits you in the head, you have a helmet. And then a guy in the front row slaps the helmet. That doesn't hurt. So that's no big deal. That's fine. And then the Lamar part is also fine because his buddy got hit, and then he got hit a little, and he's like, what is this? And he shoves all of it. I get it. All of it. But the real problem is that the Ravens walked right along the wall of where the front row in a night game in the season opener. Those people have been drinking since July. And now you're taunting them as their team is losing. You lost the game anyway, by the way. Like, the FU part of it is built into all of this. There's nothing wrong with what that fan did. And him being banned is stupid. And if I'm an attorney, I go pro bono and I get this guy back into games. Maybe not in front row. It's got to be at least row 3. All right, back to the story. Oh, no, I got to call Anthony. All right, I'm going to play a song. Sorry, it's 11:30. Turn that off. Songs, recurring. What would you like to hear? Would you like to hear Black Crowes? Probably Talking Heads, right? Seems like a Talking Heads moment. Soul Asylum, yes. Writer Radio, episode 162 continues. I've been dwelling on this craziness that happened in our UB football game the other day at the end of the half, and I mentioned I lived through it. The last 2 minutes of the first half took 28 minutes, and it was because of a referee. And if you haven't done broadcasting, you don't know how that just cripples you. So luckily, we've got a good three-man team with Paul Peck and Scott Wilson and me, and we got through it. But it was like a lightning delay, except that it wasn't a delay, and the game was still going on. And my favorite, when I got home, like the thing I needed to do the most was watch the television replay of it to see how the TV crew dealt with it, because it was a half an hour of nothing. Nothing happened for half an hour, and the game was still going on. And Anthony Lima was awesome. He was with Devin Gardner, former Michigan quarterback. Remember when the Michigan quarterback wore number 98? That was him. And these guys were on, and they were awesome. They nailed it, too. They also just hosted a comedy show for half an hour while we were doing the same. And I was like, I can find this guy. So I found this guy, and I brought Anthony on the show. Anthony, thank you so much for coming on. How are you?
It's an honor. First of all, love the fact that you actually number your radio shows. You're like the UFC of radio in Buffalo, which is terrific. They just keep, we don't need any fancy names, no Roman numerals. We'll just keep numbering them.
Yes. And what I have found from looking through, I try to, I'm old, so I have to figure out like how do you go viral, like that kind of stuff. And one of the things is like if you number your episodes on Spotify or number your episodes on YouTube, they get like downplayed. So I have now also added a song title to it. So today's episode will be called like Tilt-A-Whirl episode 162 or something, because that helps with it's so stupid.
And listen, no, you just got to, you're doing the smart thing, because you got to monetize all of this in 2025. And in Cleveland, no matter whether or not he's the fourth string quarterback or third string quarterback, anything that we labeled Shedeur Sanders, even if we had a scant mention of him, it would go crazy in terms of numbers. So you're on the right path.
Yeah, you just gotta hit the marks, man. You gotta find the things that people care about. So after like figuring out who you, this is a true story. I experienced that game, and the game was fine. I was happy. I'm rooting for the Bulls. I've been doing their games for 17 years or something. So I want them to succeed. And I think they did about what they were supposed to do in that game. And I'm generally I'm lenient on, hey, you're a first time referee. I just can't have you taking up half an hour of my time on 2 minutes of football where nothing happens. Like, you know what made me really want to do this? I watched an NFL Films video of the final 4 minutes of the Monday Night Football game the other day, and it was, the Bills beating the Vikings, and it was, or the Vikings, excuse me, purple. Bills beating the Ravens, and it was 4 minutes of football, but the video was 23 minutes long. And the first comment was like, that if there's 4 minutes of football and it takes 23 minutes, it's good. And I was like, no, I do not, because I watched 2 minutes of football that took 28 minutes and it was terrible. What's your overall take? Like, you walked out of that game, what were you thinking about? I imagine it was that.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, like I've done St. Francis games before. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm at the low end of the pecking order when it comes to some of these games. And so I get a chance to do a bunch of FCS teams that will travel to Mid-American Conference teams. And I get to do these games. Now, remember, a year ago, St. Francis, whose coach is awesome, because you get a chance to spend time with these guys.
He played for the Bills.
Yeah, he's awesome. Great guy to talk to. And Chris Villarreal, and he's a beast. And he apparently is going to stick with St. Francis as they are going to be transitioning to Division III. But you get to know these people, and look, I talked to the coach for the game, and I'm not a gambler. I don't talk to gamblers about these things. But if I would have told people, take UB minus 100, because this is going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
And this game was pretty much over, 10 minutes into the game. And I told everybody with our broadcast crew, like, any good tidbits, any fun stories, save them, because we're going to need them
Right.
for the last 2 hours of the broadcast. What I didn't know is that, the last 2 hours of the broadcast was about, an eternity, because we knew this game was over, and then we had to go to the videotape. We had to go to the booth. The officials took every last opportunity they could to review things that I've talked to these referees. I've talked to the guys that do the crews in many of the press boxes, and it's not the case in Buffalo, but at many of the press boxes, we have the replay crew right next to us. Like, we are dining with them at halftime if we get the time. Like, we'll have a sandwich and go, what'd you think about that? And it helps your broadcast. It enhances the broadcast. They'll tell you why they reviewed something, because they're subject to the quick review, which is a good thing in college football to speed things up a lot of times. Didn't necessarily work to a T with that game. And, I see these guys throughout, so I'm always very cognizant. You don't want to crush guys like I do in the sports talk radio world, because you see them, you walk out to their cars, you go, they'll invite you over to their house if you're staying for the night and they're in the region. So you don't want to be that critical. I will tell you, because we see the referee before the game and we always have a nice chit chat and we talk about some of the things that have been happening in college football. You'll bring up some of the plays that were very controversial, and it helps you. Again, it enhances the broadcast. I can tell you, when this game ended and I saw those guys booking it towards the elevator, I booked it to the stairwell. Yeah. I was going the other direction. There was going to be no small talk. It was right to the car, because if I had to talk to them, it would not have been fun pleasantries.
Poor Marcel. I mean, that was his first game of something. I don't know if it was his first game as a ref, or his first game as a MAC ref, or his first game as a U. I don't know what it was, but it was like, all right, this guy's new. And immediately I was struck by his diction, his pronunciation of, and it was like fun, like a fun, quirky, hey, this is cool. It's a, UB against an FCS school, and we've got a guy who, says operator, and like, it's fine, except when from the 2 minute timeout of the first half to the end of the first half takes 28 minutes, and then I went back and edited it together. He spoke for 3 minutes onto a microphone in the last 2 minutes of the half, and it was nothing I'd ever witnessed before, and I was just so happy to see that you had fun with it, along with Devin Gardner. Do you remember in the moment, like, how you felt?
Yeah, well, I couldn't believe it, because what will happen, and I know you think about, all right, if you are a referee, and remember, gambling is part of these games now, and the networks are pushing a lot of the gambling news, so everything has to be taken seriously, and stuff that they might have allowed in the past, they kind of have to go by the books, right? Because people are wagering money on this stuff. You got to remember it. So I've talked to these crews before, and in the past, there are things they would just let go. If it's a blowout, but once a coach asks for a review or whatever, it's like they feel like they have to honor that, even in a blowout situation, because there's so much that I would just, come on. Look, I'm getting paid for my work and everything, and I appreciate that. I respect that. But we all want to get home to our wife and kids, or sometimes I don't want to get home to them.
Yeah.
But in this case, I had a 3-hour drive back to Cleveland.
Right.
It's right. I had a 3-hour drive, and I knew I had a Browns game the next day. And it's like, you start going tick-tock, tick-tock. And I'm like, what are we doing here? And I'm trying in the moment on the mic to be as respectful as I can to these individuals, especially if it is a first game or whatever. Hey, everybody has to get their work in one way or another. And it's impossible to simulate these games before the season. These teams don't have preseason games like they do in the NFL. They are asked to come out and do spring games if there are spring games. They will get some work in that way, but it's very hard to simulate the real thing. And as far as the diction goes, I don't know if you played any of the audio. I just imagine it's somebody who's not great at public speaking, who has to get on a mic, and who also doesn't want to go viral, who then in turn ends up going viral because of the way they sound.
Yes. I have played some of the audio, and actually, what I promised is at the end of the show, I'm putting on the 27 minutes. I have 3 different cuts of this. I have the 27 minute and 50 seconds of him saying we're going to halftime, and then we get to halftime. That's 27:50. I have just him talking. That's 2 minutes and 59 seconds. From, again, in 2 minutes of football, it's 2:59 of the official, and then I've got him with us, and I already played that one before the show started, like as like a pre-roll, and I'm playing the full 27:50 afterward. And yours is great too. Like if anybody has ESPN Plus, go back and watch this, because this is what made me reach out to you. Like you are my friend now, Anthony. I watched this. I was like, oh, this poor guy went through what I did. How did he do? Oh, he did great too. And I laughed hysterically watching you and Devin deal with this thing. And that's what led to me reaching out and finding you and bringing you on. All right, let's move on from the funny, stupid reason I brought you on. And hey, I happen to have a Cleveland radio sports guy here. Browns, how are we? How are we looking? I'm always interested in the Browns. They're always a fun story. They're always I don't hate them, because like we've never really been in conflict in my lifetime of being a Bills fan. 1, 2 maybe playoff games, but like the Ronnie Harmon game a long time ago. Yeah,
89.
That's it.
1989, a thriller. I remember Clay Matthews intercepted a ball in the end zone from Jim Kelly to thwart one of your playoff runs. But
the 8-0 regular season game, Braylon Edwards game in 2007, where whoever won was going to be alive. And the Browns won, and I was at that game, and I was frozen in my seat by the end of it. But that's about it. Like I just like you guys. I like Cleveland.
Snow globe games.
Yeah.
Two teams on Interstate 90 that understand the elements. I feel like we do have a kinship. We tailgate, although we opted to shed the elements. We are going into a dome in 2029. You guys are just shielding the fans from some of the elements.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how the two ownership groups decided to move forward. Either way.
Wait, you're replacing your stadium feels brand new to me. You're replacing that already?
Yeah, debuted in 1999 when the new Browns came back.
Yeah,
and
that feels new.
This has been a contentious item, and owners want to make more money, so they want to control parking. They want to have their version of Patriots Place. So they are mixing it up and putting the final touches on all of that. But the governor signed off on it, and the Browns are going to be moving. So the snow globe games could be a thing of the past between these two teams. But I'll say, like, the big conversation this week after their game on Sunday, which was close offensively, you could say it was a throwback to the 1950s, but. The Browns defense was dominant, so the thought is, hey, was it a moral victory? The problem is it's like year 6 of this coaching staff and of the head coach and year 6 of the management. So, that's where we're at. The team is in transition a little bit because you got like a 40-year-old bridge quarterback in Joe Flacco who played, I thought, really well. He had 2 interceptions that were tip drills, so not necessarily his fault. Actually, not his fault at all. But the defense was unbelievably dominating, and they've done that to Joe Burrow before. A couple of years ago or 3 years ago, they held him to 88 yards passing, and this one it was like just over 100. So we know offenses are way behind the defenses right now. This first week in the NFL, I think on Sunday the unders came through in 11 of the 12 games leading up to the Sunday night football game.
Yeah,
your game was
a lot of points.
Of the weekend.
A lot of points.
Yeah. So I think fans are looking at the schedule, though, because they got at Baltimore this week, double-digit dogs. Then they're going to be at home against Green Bay. Could be double-digit home dogs in that game. And it could be like an 0-6 start to the season. And then the thought is, when are they going to the rookie quarterbacks, which, of course, in an all-time weird scenario, they have 2 of them.
Yeah. Which one's the leader right now?
Gabriel.
Good.
The kid from Oregon is number 1, and Shedeur Sanders is number 2, but nobody cares about Gabriel. They only care. I say Dylan Gabriel. Taylor Gabriel is a different wide receiver, but Dylan Gabriel is the guy that they trust, and Shedeur Sanders is the guy that got all the headlines and was the one that all the fans care about one way or another. It's very polarizing, or his situation is, I should say. He's been great. He has been a great kid since he's been here. So that's pretty much the story of the entire season. They got some rookies that played well, but, so do a bunch of teams. So we'll see what that means. But, we've been bracing for a very long season. But,
Yeah.
the fans are always optimistic. Fans always are hopeful at the start of the year.
Well, fans are cool. The Cleveland crowd is just cool. Like, whatever. We went through 20 years of no playoffs in Buffalo, and I would root for Cleveland to get it's the same. We're the same thing. It's the same lake. You just just get on one. There's one road. There's one road to take. Like, from my house, I have to make like 3 turns to get to Cleveland. So like we're all sharing a lake, we're sharing a vibe, we're sharing everything. You guys have way too many quarterbacks that everybody knows about though. Like that. What do you do? Like Watson is still on the roster, right? Or still in some way involved.
He is.
Is that going to end ever, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, like they removed all the signage from the stadium and the facility.
Yeah, don't hang him up.
It was all time swing and a miss. But the crazy thing is, he and his team, they continue to put out videos of him working out because he suffered a big time injury for the 2nd straight year, and they got him running around throwing the ball. And as that conversation get louder, if the team starts out 0-4, 0-5, 0-6, they can't just trade him or cut him because of the dead cap situation, which is the most money in the league. It'd be a third of some teams' payrolls.
Yeah, is
what the dead cap situation would be. So he's just kind of hanging out around the team. It's very bizarre. Last year when he got injured, he just left. And we were wondering about that as Dak Prescott was hobbling, at Cowboys games, getting onto the sidelines. Our guy, Deshaun Watson, was down in South Beach.
Yeah.
So now he's with the team. So it's so bizarre. Any of the 2 rookies, and one of them is Shedeur Sanders, who his jersey of all the rookies, do you know his jersey led the NFL in sales?
Come on.
He was a 4th string quarterback in most of camp.
Yeah. All right. So you've got Flacco, you've got Shedeur, you've got Gabriel, you've got Deshaun. Is there another one too, or are we good?
We had former Pro Bowl quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, Tyler Snoop Huntley. He's gone.
Oh, God.
But then they brought in Bailey Zappi.
Oh, my
who
God.
Split scout team reps this week to get them ready for Joe Burrow.
So are they taking up 3 roster spots right now with quarterback?
It's unbelievable.
Or is one a practice squad, or is it really like 3 spots?
Yeah, now you have the emergency. Like Shedeur Sanders was the emergency quarterback for that game, so they were able to dodge some uncomfortable questions about that. The whole thing is weird. Whole thing is bizarre.
Oh my God. All right. We have to go, but I'm gonna have you on again. I've got your number now, so sorry, dude. I'm gonna bug you again and make you come on my show again.
And look, most radio stations to fill time, they just play like Stairway to Heaven. You guys get to play Marcel, the amazing, official.
Yeah, I'm going to play 28 minutes of that. So thank you. Anthony Lima, really appreciate your time. Sorry we had to go through what we had to go through the other day, but I'm sure we'll run into you again during the MAC football season or just NFL, or I'll just call you. So whatever. Thanks, man.
Beautiful. Have a good one, man.
All right, you too. Anthony Lima, thank you to him. That was fun. That was awesome. See, I can talk to people I don't know. I can do this. I can have like actual like guests that aren't just my friends. It's like, hey, this guy seems cool. Let's have him on. So without a college football team, I've decided to follow/root for referee Marcel. Well, you're going to get a bunch of him. What do we got? What time is it? 11:52? All right, I'm going to just play it. I'm going to play the thing and call it a day. All right, I found the thing. It took me a minute, but I found the thing. So there's no music playing right now, but I've got, I'm going to hit this so it doesn't go away. All right, so what you're about to hear is going to be 28 minutes long. And it was very frustrating in the moment, but then listening back to it, it's funny. It's like this hell that we all went through. That's why I brought Anthony Lima on, because he went through it too as a TV broadcaster. And I would recommend going back on ESPN Plus and watching what they did with this 28 minutes that it took for 2 minutes of football to happen in a game between UB and St. Francis, which is FCS and moving to D3. Like, there was no reason for all of the delay. There's no reason I couldn't pick up my kid at 8 o'clock. There was one reason, and it was my boy Marcel, who was reffing his first game or something. and really working on his diction during this. So I think this is great. It's 28 minutes of audio, but I put in like 4 hours of editing to get the ref only version, which is 3 minutes, the ref plus some of our jokes, which is 8 minutes, and then the full 28 minutes so you get the idea. I'm at 11:57. I promise you a show from 10 to noon. I feel comfortable hitting play on this thing. It'll take you to the end. I don't plan to talk at the end. I'll maybe play a song or something, but really this is the end of the show for today. It's Tuesday. It's episode 162. It's September 9th. Like, this is what you're going to get. I want you to hear what I went through the other day. What Anthony went through. He's cool. I like him. We'll get him on again. This is labeled unedited radio crew plus ref last 2 minutes of half. That's what it's labeled. Unedited radio crew plus ref last 2 minutes of half. 27 minutes and 50 seconds of garbage, but it's funny, I think. So I'm putting it on. I didn't make it the show. I'm just putting it at the end of the show. Enjoy. Thanks for listening. Oh, shout out to Brian Janik. Hold on. Let's get the official info up about our first ever sponsor for Writer Radio, which is Brian Janik from the Financial Guys. Where is the thing? I want to read it. It's 20 years. There we go. 20 years experience in health insurance and employee benefits. Help companies, individuals under 65, and people eligible for Medicare to find health plans that meet their needs and budget. There is no cost for my services. It's paid for by the insurance carriers. So that's a good relationship to have. I enjoy my relationship with my buddy Brian. But you can have one for free, like I do. I don't pay him. For free. Be friends with Brian. He helps your life. And it's free. It's pretty good. Brian Janik, thefinancialguys.com. You'll find him there. All right, here we go. 28 minutes almost of 2 minutes of college football between a MAC team and an FCS team that's moving to Division III. Here's how the last 2 minutes of the first half went. Thanks for listening to Writer Radio. I'll be back tomorrow at 10. You want to hear this. If you have stuck around this long, I promise you want to hear this. Here we go.
Pressure, got hit as he throws. He was able to get rid of it. It's a loose ball. You sure, Scott? I thought the arm was coming forward. And let's see what they'll decide here.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
It was Kobe Stewart that hit the quarterback Whitfield, and it looks like, I think, an incomplete pass. Have we gotten a ruling yet?
No. They just sent it right to the 2-minute timeout.
What about intentional grounding? Might that be in the conversation here?
It should be. We've got a timeout on the field. We'll sort all of this out and see what happens when we return. It's the 2-minute timeout here at UB Stadium with the Bulls up 24-0. You're listening to UB Football from Learfield.
This is Nina Wells here with your urgent care highlights. Oh, Daniel Cobb just got hit with that nasty flu. Let's see how he recovers. Over his desk, through the kitchen, and he's off to Well Now Urgent Care. Open 7 days a week with walk-ins welcome. Daniel's giving sickness the business. Well Now is a proud partner of UB Athletics with several locations in Western New York. Well Now, here for whatever happens.
Sunwool makes logistics feel simple so you can focus on what's next. We're built on real values, integrity, innovation, and making a real impact for our partners. Our mission is simple: deliver flexible, custom solutions that actually work for your business. Whether you're a growing company looking to scale or an established brand ready to streamline your supply chain, Sunwool can build a solution that fits. We combine decades of logistics experience with cutting-edge tech to keep your freight moving, your customers happy, and your business ahead of the curve. Head to sunwool.com to learn more or give us a call today. Let's move your business forward together.
Lockport Town and Country Club is Western New York's best-kept secret. Located in Lockport, New York, just 15 minutes from Millersport Highway. 18-hole, meticulously manicured golf course. swimming pool with poolside dining, and a beautiful restaurant with an outdoor patio overlooking the 18th green. Discover the numerous membership options available to you, your family, or company. Lockport Town and Country Club. One round will make you a fan for life. Call 433-5969 for more information.
UB Football brought to you by Legends, the official uniform and branded merchandise provider of the University at Buffalo. Go to legends.net to learn more about custom branded merchandise for your team or business.
All right, 1:56 to go first half, 24-0 Bulls. We still are not aware of the resolution of that last play that we told you about, where the quarterback Nick Whitfield was hit by Kobe Stewart, and did the ball pop out on the hit? Did the hit force the arm forward? Is it an incomplete pass or a fumble recovery? I think it's an incomplete pass, but we're not entirely sure yet, Scott. And it's hard to tell based on, is that the offense or the defense that's out there getting ready to go out for the Bulls?
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the offense. The play is under review.
All right, so they reviewed it. They called it a fumble, as you said, but it was not recovered by the Bulls. It was recovered by St. Francis. But, again, they'll look at this and see whether it was or should be an incomplete pass.
This is Brad Live interrupting to say that it's already been 3.5 minutes since the play happened.
This is something that, and the NFL does this. All right, yeah, that's an incomplete pass. That's an incomplete pass. But Stewart, half second away from another sack. They just had the whole commercial break to review this and get this taken care of, and then they wait till we come back from break.
Right.
And then they say, by the way, we are going to stop the game to review this. Now, luckily, this should be a quick one. But still, what were you doing? What have you been doing?
I don't know how George Wallow didn't recover the fumble. He was the first guy to fall, and the ball must have squirted out from underneath him and into the arms of a St. Francis player.
I turned my microphone on, and my intention was to say the exact same stuff that Scott said, except he said it first. But now I have a new take on the play after watching it again. I think the ball may have been out of his hand, and then he pushed his arm forward and kind of knocked it forward as opposed to actually attempting to throw the ball. I think he tried to simulate that he had thrown the ball, but I don't think he had the ball when he did it.
I like that interpretation.
It's a possibility.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
and keep in mind the ruling on the field is fumble. So you've got to see something to overturn it. It doesn't matter much, but this is what we do, right? We overanalyze things that are not necessarily super important in life.
Well, when they
right?
don't do it during the commercial, we got to talk about it.
That was stupid.
Yeah, and even as he went down to the ground, Whitfield's first motion was like to move his arm forward, like, hey, I was throwing the ball.
But I think he might have been lying that time, too.
Well, he could have been.
I think he was lying the first time, and then he's like, no, that's what I did, that's what I did. You guys saw it, right?
You know, it's trying to do a good sell job, right?
It's an opportunity to remind people that the verbiage in these reviews has changed. It's no longer confirmed
or stands.
It's
upheld, right?
No matter what.
Yeah.
So it's either upheld or
overturned, right? Which takes a little bit of the less of the. It's a way to cover up for the replay officials a little bit.
Paul,
you know?
somewhere there's a law firm that has billable hours making that decision and that change. That's what that is. I mean, that's all that is.
Well, speaking of billable hours, I'd like to have the ones that we have right now on this review, because we still don't have any resolution right now. And we're still waiting for our referee, Marcel Kerr.
The entire officiating crew stood in a huddle for a good minute and a half during the commercial break, only to determine, maybe we should look at this over there. Let's wait till we get back from the commercial break, and then I'll head from the 50-yard line to the 23-yard line, where the monitor is. And then I'll stand looking at that for, 5 minutes. This is stupid.
So Marcel Kerr, our referee, is still at the monitor on the 20-yard line, as Brad mentioned. So this is a long look going on right now.
Again, for a difference of 4 yards.
Yes.
Because St. Francis recovered. They're not even debating a change of possession here.
Yeah, total yardage in this one, Buffalo with 228. St. Francis with 35. First downs are 15-2. Rushing yards are 132-15. Passing yards are 96-20. And there haven't been any turnovers, so this has just been domination by Buffalo against an overmatched FCS/Division III team in St. Francis. In case you're wondering, St. Francis is located in Loretto, Pennsylvania. It's about halfway between Pittsburgh and State College, about a 4-hour or so bus ride for the guys up here. Matter of fact, the last week's game at Louisiana, the first time the program had ever taken a plane to get to a game. Everything else they do is bus trips.
Just off the turnpike, right? Isn't everything just about?
I think so.
Right? I think that's a good way to.
Yeah.
They're either off the turnpike or off 81.
That's right. They had a basketball team that made the NCAA tournament last year.
Yes. And that was the team made the tournament, and then the second they were eliminated from March Madness last year, the university announced, by the way, we're going to Division III.
Yeah.
So it was a short-lived celebration.
Probably paid a PR firm $100,000 to make that decision.
It's all about billable hours, Paul.
Yes,
that's what we're learning
today. We're still at the monitor here. Let's go, Marcel Kerr. I know this is your first. It might be your first game as a ref. Here we go, finally.
I said, all right, Paul's getting angry. I got to say something here.
Tell us, please.
After review, the ruling on the field is reversed to an incomplete pass. Because there was no eligible receiver in the area of the pass, we have intentional grounding, offense, number 6. Loss of down at the spot of the foul will be second down at the 44-yard line. The game clock will start on the snap.
So that's actually the worst possible outcome for St. Francis.
Yeah.
The other outcome was much better for them.
Yes.
Plus, they're stuck in the stadium for 10 minutes longer than they should have been as well.
Yes. All right, so now the ball goes back to the 44. Now we're looking at, what is it, third down now? Second down. No, it's loss of down. It's got to be third down, doesn't it? I don't know. I don't know what's going on right here. I just know it's 24-0 Buffalo with 1:56 to go in the half. It's second down now and about 16. Snap to Whitfield, bubble screen right side, caught, and Solomon Brown able to bear hug the receiver Peyton Nelson and bring him down after a gain of about 3 yards.
At this point, St. Francis's kind of best weapon has been just using as much clock as possible. And this is really the first time.
Timeout, Buffalo. Their first charge timeout of the first half. This will be a 13-second timeout. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 48 seconds. 148.
I'm going to be on a microphone for the first time. I'm going to enunciate. I'm going to speak every syllable as clearly as possible. What is going on with this guy?
Break in the action is brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of your Buffalo Bulls. So Pete's calling timeouts because he wants to get more points.
I mean, he knew what we were talking about. You know, I mean, if it's something that they want to do, I don't want them to do that.
Yeah, so it's
gonna down and long.
Third and
defense,
13.
Let's take that timeout and try to go get some more points here before the half.
Yeah, it's going to be third and 13 now with 1:48 to go in the half. Bulls up 24-0. And interestingly, you've got Deion Crawford in on the defensive line, but almost rushing from a tackle spot inside of Kobe Stewart. Let's see what happens here. See if he can get home. Whitfield, the quarterback, moving some people around on third down and long. 3 receivers to the left side. Snap to the QB. Whitfield, quick throw up the middle of the field, caught, but well shy of a first down. Peyton Nelson, the wide receiver, freshman from Maryland, makes the catch.
Just a quick reminder from me, Brad, live right now. This is 28 minutes of 2 minutes of football.
The first half. This will be a 13-second timeout.
Ball goes to the Buffalo.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 44 seconds. 144.
And the ball is at the 43-yard line right now.
Thank you.
Is he AI?
It might be. It might be.
It feels like he's AI.
Who was the official from a couple years ago that I think is now in the Big Ten that sounded like he was hosting a cool jazz radio show?
Yeah, he had a great voice.
Billy Williams, I think his name was. He had a great voice, yeah. All right, so let's see what they're going to go for it. They're going to go for it. It's 4th down and 5, 4th down and 4. with the ball at the Buffalo 43-yard line. They're going to go for it, obviously down 24-0 here with 1:44 to go. And that last pass play was about the only thing they've gotten downfield, even tried to throw downfield. Whitfield gets the snap, back in the pocket. He's got time. He fires to the sideline. It is caught. Going to be a first down gain. Wide receiver gets spun out of bounds. That's Manny Dyson, spun out by Miles Greer and Oliver Bridges, but it's a first down gain to the Buffalo 33 and a pickup of 10.
Best throw of the game right there.
No question.
Put it on the line.
Yep, looks like Whitfield settling in a little bit, playing obviously inside of an hour away from his hometown in Fredonia. 3,500 career passing yards, 30 touchdowns, and 1,266 career rushing yards for Nick Whitfield at Fredonia.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1:36. 1:36. Thank you.
All right, so the drive continues now. By far the nicest offensive drive for St. Francis all game, but they still trail the Bulls 24-0. All the way down to the Buffalo 33-yard line. Three receivers to the right for Whitfield. Points out the linebackers, looks left, looks right, gets the snap, drops straight back, pressure coming. Now he steps up, and he throws down the middle of the field, and it's knocked away. Solomon Brown blanketing the wide receiver, got the left hand in there to knock it down.
Great close there by Solomon Brown. He's angry at himself that he didn't make that pick, but that would have been an incredibly hard pick, a one-hander.
He had a one-handed interception last year at Eastern Michigan, remember?
And Malin White is coming. He's going to get another sack here soon.
Second down and 10 from the Buffalo 33. Whitfield to throw again. Pressure coming again. Fires to the right sideline and sails it over the head of the receiver running the out. Again, big pressure coming from Kobe Stewart. Minute 12 to go in the half. 24-0 Bulls.
Both Stewart and White are on the snap, just giving that little dip, going around the edge. And their athleticism is just getting right around those tackles and right into the lap of the quarterback.
Yeah, the tackles just don't have the footwork to sort of slide, protect that first step that they're getting from the Bulls' defensive ends. So here's third down and 10 from the Buffalo 33-yard line. Three receivers bunched to the right, one receiver to the left. And the Bulls are coming. They're coming hard. Whitfield in the pocket, throws it short across the middle. It is caught. Vines out of the backfield, going to have a first down on the crossing pattern. He's going to get himself inside the 15. Everybody went deep. The running back looped around, ran the shallow cross, and was able to turn it upfield and get down to the 14-yard line for a gain of 18. Andrew Vines at running back. And right to the line, and now Pete Lembo's going to call timeout.
Bulls had too many men on the field.
Timeout. Buffalo. Their third and final charge timeout of the first half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
55 seconds to go in the half. Breaking the action brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of your Buffalo Bulls.
Bulls were switching the defensive line, and as St. Francis kind of ran up to the line, was going to push the tempo. Malin White didn't see that the subs had come in, and just too many men on the field there for the Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, in the way everybody plays with substitutions and guys in and out, like that happens a lot, right? It's hard, particularly the other teams running tempo on you. It's hard to get guys in and out. And again, if they don't sub, you got to sub on your own. You don't get that benefit of the play being held up.
Again, Demetrius Ballard getting a lot of play here today. I know he had a great fall camp.
Yeah,
coaches liked him.
Big 6'6" redshirt freshman Demetrius Ballard.
He's opposite of Malin White.
Yep. All right, here's first down from the Buffalo 14-yard line with 55 seconds to go in the half. Bulls up 24-0. Snap to Whitfield. The quarterback drops in the pocket, fires to the left sideline, caught by the tight end. That's Scott Raymond, who steps out of bounds after just a 2-yard gain to the 12.
Well, they're in scoring position, and I think that right now they're very cognizant of, a sack here could really, really hurt us and take us out of a position to at least get 3 points here. So they want that ball to come out quick.
Yeah, and Whitfield is not wasting a whole lot of time with getting that ball out of his hand. Snap to the quarterback. Whitfield, quick throw up the left side numbers. It is caught, and then a host of Bulls push the receiver back at the 8-yard line with the clock down to 40 seconds to go in the half. Quick little curl pattern there to Dyson, the wide receiver. So it's going to be 3rd down and 3 to go from the 8-yard line, but 8 yards to get St. Francis on the scoreboard. Whitfield back in the pocket. Blitz is coming. He has to throw it away. He throws it to no one. That has the potential to be a grounding call as well, too.
There's no one there. Thank
they
you.
dropped
There
the
it
flag.
is.
There you go. And Whitfield is arguing that there was someone there, but I didn't see
He wasn't
anybody
out of the tackle
there.
box
And
either.
he was not out of the tackle box, correct. Big blitz coming from Savion Brown off the nickelback spot.
And that's why they want that ball to come out quick. Right there. He had to hold it for longer than 2 seconds, and it was trouble.
Did Pete Lembo say he wants to decline this?
No. No, I think he's saying...
I don't think you can. And Pete's
well, if it's grounding, it's loss of down. So,
correct.
I mean, there's no...
Pete's
Loss
having
of
a
down. It's essentially a sack with a stopped clock. It's the perfect situational penalty.
because there's zeros on the scoreboard
the
right
clock
now,
right now.
and that's what I think Pete is saying. There need to be some time put on the clock. Yeah, the clock should not have kept running, but with a grounding call, right, it essentially acts like a sack. So Bulls don't have any timeouts left either. So again, a lot to sort out here. 24-0 Buffalo, tail end of the first half.
Intentional grounding. This is what I'm anticipating here.
So let's see what gets figured out here. And somebody should get credit. There should have been credit for a sack on the first grounding, and there should be credit for a sack on this one too.
I think this one is probably going to be split again with Kobe and Malin White. They were both back there. I think Kobe got there first.
Kobe Stewart, who led the MAC in sacks last year with 9.5. And again,
every call just seems to really be thought over.
Yeah, well, my suspicion is this is a relatively new officiating crew.
For football.
Here we go.
Intentional grounding, offense, number 6. Loss of down at the spot of the foul. Because that foul carries a 10-second runoff, being under the last 2 minutes, the offense has elected to take their last timeout to avoid the runoff. The previous play ended with 5 seconds remaining on the game clock. So, game clock operator, please put 5 seconds on the game clock. Timeout, St. Francis, their third and final charge timeout, a 30-second timeout.
That was his best one until he got the operator.
That was an excellent explanation, exactly.
Right, but all I was waiting for
operator.
was operator and 13. I've got like former producers of these games texting me going, what is going on with that referee? Shout out Lucas Buckley.
Way to go, Lucas. All right, so the ball sits at the 16-yard line, which was the spot of the grounding. And with 5 seconds to go on the half, it's going to be 4th down. So what's St. They're just going to throw it in the end zone? Like, what are they going to?
They're going to field goal. They got their kicker out
Okay,
there.
well they can kick the field goal, sure, and try to get on the scoreboard here
for the season.
Block for a touchdown.
They have not scored this season.
Block for a touchdown.
That's right.
Block for a touchdown.
Oh, you're trying to will this to happen.
This is the offense.
I like it. I like it. All right, we are going to get a field goal. It is Mac Plummer, who's the field goal kicker, and he's going to try a 39-yard field goal. Career long is 50. That came in that win over Kent State last year.
Paul, they've got the review equipment out on the field, just to let you know. Right? Down here at the 20?
For what?
I don't know.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
The officials are talking again.
Here we go. I mean, it's early season, clearly early season for MAC officials.
I would like that mic on the whole time, please. What?
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Previous play is under review.
What?
I mean, he threw the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
Are they saying that
we're
he
going to watch it and
fumbled
see if somebody caught it? Like, what are we?
Is
what
it
are
a
we doing?
timing? Are we trying to check timing for when the ball went out of bounds? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what they could possibly be reviewing here.
Well, just to be clear, we're still talking about the same play, right?
Yes,
like
we
nothing.
are.
There wasn't a secret one that happened.
No.
This is it.
This is amazing.
So, again, it appeared as though we were going to get a field goal attempt here. I don't know whether that'll change or not.
Paul,
but
we've done games where we've been in like first half track meets with Baylor.
Yeah.
Back in the day where there were 1.5 minute scoring drives. And this first half is longer than those games. I mean, these officials are.
What time is it?
They are
Thursday?
really getting their. They are really getting their money's worth.
Yeah, we're on an hour and 38 minutes on the half right now. So.
Hey, Scott, read this. Read this out loud, this last part here.
No.
It's not a trick. Just read it out loud. Read it out loud.
Oh,
I have approval. I have approval to put this into the broadcast.
Hey, when you're still thinking about the last Bulls game but can't wait for the next one, check out the UB Football Podcast, hosted by me and Brad. Mainly Brad hosts. I mean, he's the host with the most.
We host the prop.
Find and follow the UB Insider Podcast immediately.
Yeah, right?
I liked it a lot.
Right.
Love it.
Come back. I'm going to read it again later.
It's an awesome listen. It is absolutely the best way to get ready for each week's Bulls game by listening to these two guys break it down. Can't recommend it enough.
It's Scott breaking it down. It's me asking Scott questions
Well,
and then telling me what's going on. I know my role.
That's a skill set in itself.
I know my role.
Maybe this game will be over by the time you guys
is that the first
are
in
ready.
the history of UB broadcasting?
By the time you guys are ready to record the next one? All right, here we go. Marcel's got all the info for us.
After review, the incomplete pass on the previous play occurred with 20 seconds on the game clock. Please reset the game clock to 20 seconds.
Operator.
Because of the timeout St. Francis took to avoid the runoff, we would snap the ball. The game clock will start on the snap.
Okay.
Just to note, the game clock starts every snap.
During the game.
Every time the ball is snapped, that clock will be running.
All right, well, so again, we're back to the field goal attempt of 39 yards for Mac
Block field goal for a
Plummer.
touchdown.
Brad's still putting it out there.
I know. Brad is putting. We've
the
had a
R out
blocked
there.
punt already in this
Listen,
game.
whatever happens on this next play, Paul, I pray that there's a review involved. Because like I gotta get more official.
Some people
What's
got to
this
have
guy's
more
name?
cowbell. Scott's got to have more official. Marcel Kerr.
I gotta get more Kerr in my life right now. They are still talking about this
Yes,
play.
they are. Now they're talking about it with Chris Valerial, who's out to the numbers on the far side of the field.
Hey, shout out to the refs for being only 15 seconds off.
Yeah.
By the way.
By 5, I meant 20. 20. Operator.
Like, I feel bad for the players.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel bad for us.
The St. Francis guys are just like having full conversations with the Bulls along the line of scrimmage, like, hey, what's up? What's your favorite wing place?
Because
Oh my
of
God.
the new clock adjustment, St. Francis has elected to allow the 10-second runoff. Game clock operator, please subtract 10 seconds from the game clock, set it at 10 seconds, and the game clock will start on my ready-for-play whistle.
So we went from 0 to 5 to 20 to 10.
Yep.
They've made 4 decisions.
Hey, it's actually a good call by Chris Valerio because
you
you're
don't want
like,
any
I don't
time
want to
for
leave
us.
them any time to do anything. All right. So here we go. We'll see what happens, Brad. Hold off on that. It's a 39-yard field goal attempt for Mac Plummer to get St. Francis on the scoreboard and get them their first points of the season. It's 24-0 Bulls. An actual football play. Here it comes. No.
Timeout.
No.
Oh, my God. I don't believe it.
Timeout.
Timeout, St. Francis.
Their third and final charge, timeout.
Someone start a
of the
slow
first
clap.
half. This will be
This
a
is-
30-second
I didn't want to do this to
timeout.
Chris Valerio. I like Chris Valerio. I'm going to look up the Bills' record while he was on their team because he called
don't
that
do
timeout.
that. Don't do that.
No, I'm doing that.
Our halftime guest has been in the booth here for like 45 minutes waiting to come on.
Yep. And there haven't even been any plays.
Oh boy. if we're going to see any glimpses of Pistol Pete here today, this would be what prompts it all. All right, we're lined up again for a field goal.
No one has any timeouts left.
Right.
Okay.
All right, so this should be the last play of the half. Field goal attempt of 39 yards. And it's a bobbled snap, and the holder's in trouble, and he tried to throw it, and the ball is loose, and the Bulls pick it up, and I think it's Kobe Stewart who winds up getting tackled at the 40-yard line. The time has run out on the first half. After all of that, how did we not see exactly that coming? The holder, Aiden Cerulli, bobbled the snap and then tried to go full Garo Yepremian on the play, and they're lucky it didn't get popped up in the air, intercepted, and returned for a touchdown.
We're lucky the clock says 0. You know how long they'd have to talk about that one?
Yeah, it's 24-0 Bulls. We've come to halftime here at UB Stadium. Brad Ryder takes you through it. When we return, you're listening to Bulls football from Learfield.
What are you doing for lunch? I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich.
We're gonna go around the corner. I think you should come with us. This is a great place.
Okay.
We brought you a shirt.
You get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?